Hello everyone, welcome to R programming. R programming is one of the most preferred programming languages in the last few years. Many programmers, while dealing with complex sets, use R programming to analyze the data, visualize it, and model the insights from that data to for business intelligence, market intelligence, etc. Statistical learning is a recently developed area in statistics, and it basically consists of a set of tools for modeling and understanding complex data. As we know nowadays, a lot of data is generated, whether it is in healthcare industry, energy sector, technology, travel, and tourism. Analyzing this data and being able to take the useful component is one of the key areas in understanding big data. So this is one of the greatest advantages for this programming languages as it is open source. So there is no hassle to buy a software for an extremely high price, and anyone has the freedom to make the changes, contribute in any way, and get the required results. Demo video, I would like to give you some brief introduction on what is there in this tutorial to help you to understand what will you learn at the end of this course. So firstly, I would give you some history. Why is it called a language called R? Its typical applications and how is it useful in data science. To begin with, this language is called R because it was firstly a dialect of a language called S in 1970s. This S was developed at Bell Labs, but subsequently the people didn't realize they need a language to understand from the statistical point of view. And it was the developers Robert Gentleman and Ross Inker in New Zealand which developed this statistical part of this language, and that's why it is named as R. The important and the easy aspect in R is that the functionality is divided into modular packages. So you don't have to download the entire massive software, but rather download the packages as per your requirements of the project, work, etc. For example, like someone may need a package for particular application. So that person can choose to download only that package but not download the entire package software. And R is a open source software, so you don't have to pay for it and you can download it, and it gives you all the freedom to do the software as it is open source. Second advantage is as it is running on any standard computing platform or operating system, whether it is Macintosh, Windows, Linux. One can even download the software on a PlayStation 3 and try to execute it. A common website where you can download this R Studio is like from cranrproject.org, and 5,000 packages. They are called like libraries of function in R. So for any topic, or there could be a package specifically designed to execute it, making the work of a developer very easy. Now, in R, the graphic capabilities are very sophisticated, and many times the graphics produced like heat maps or dendrograms or box plots are used to analyze data in a pictorial form with pictures rather than as a table. For example, in a heat map, there are different colors indicating a particular data set influencing to a higher extent, the influence of this data set to a lower extent in heat maps. Is statistical learning. So what does it mean? It basically means to understand the data. This big data, what we get of like few hundreds of megabytes has to be analyzed, or rather understood, that what this data is telling us. So this data is usually supervised or unsupervised. Now, a supervised data would have an output lag from the inputs. For example, wage data. A person getting a wage would have its name, its age, number of hours working, in which part of the country they are situated, and accordingly there would be like the wages for that different type of people. So here you can predict an output for that person after suppose 10 years. If he's been making for last few years this much salary, what is expected after these many years? And this is what is predictive modeling. You're making a prediction to understand the future value. And most of the data sets which are supervised are like used in like medicine, public policies data, growth data, population data, death mortality rates, and unsupervised data is the one in which you cannot get an output from the different inputs. You can predict. So you will have a couple of inputs, and from those inputs, you'll have to analyze whether they belong to one group. Like maybe they could belong to certain age groups, or they could belong to certain demographics. But there is no definite output for these types of data, and that's why it's called unsupervised data. And it is of course more challenging to work these data sets because you would first have to find the correlation, the subgroups, or there's something called clustering, which is usually done with unsupervised data before applying the supervised data tools. R is used in unsupervised data to form the clustering algorithms, which are like applying graph theory. And there are two types of clustering ways. One is k-means, and other is hierarchical clustering. And it's like a way of visualization to understand the groups or subgroups of this data in R. Like first, this data is usually in a table which is in Excel format, or it could be CSV. So the first function would be this loading this data into R. As R takes the data into the physical memory, so if there is a data of high volume, the computation would take much longer. So once this data is loaded, it is read. Then a different function like indexing. Indexing a data would be like from the entire data set, a part of a data is taken and analyzed, or a function is applied to a part of the data. Graphics, like in clustering algorithms, or when you want to see a visualization tool like box plot or hierarchical clustering or in k-means, you get the graphics, a plot is produced. Then there are of course loops and functions. A loop like would undergo different types to a program. Then there are different types of data frames. It can be like matrices. One of the most important aspects to understand the R is its wide range of application in real world. Whether it is energy sector to analyze how much energy people are going to use in the future, to healthcare sector where market research or market intelligence gets their insight by understanding the healthcare trends in the people, or finance like predictive modeling is done on stock markets, trading, astronomy to understand the planetary position, marketing, and in public policies like growth rate data, wage data, and the population increase. So this wide range of application of R makes it one of the most versatile languages. Now this, like many of you must have been programming, so the one of the familiarity of this language is with this other languages like Java and C++. So when you study this language, you'll understand that some of the functions are similar to those languages. So this tutorial is to give you just a brief introduction on R, and I hope you, if you would like to get into the actual programming, working on real data sets, you can see our website www.skillvenue.com and enroll for the course to get hands-on experience and better understanding of our program. Thank you.